Tawba of Hazrat Ibrahim bin Adham. Welcome to Learn Suluk, our YouTube channel to study Sufism. Let us first recite Durood Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali wa ashabi Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik wa salim. Today we will discuss about the Tawba of Hazrat Sultan Ibrahim bin Adham, may Allah be pleased with him. Introduction. Hazrat Ibrahim bin Adham is an important and one of the very early Sufi masters in the Chishti order when it was established in the Middle East. Over the time this Sufi order spread to the Indian subcontinent and gained millions of followers, and to this day is prominent in this region. Abu Ishaq Ibrahim ibn Adham, born in Balkh, was of pure Arab descent. He was described in Sufi legend as a prince who renounced his kingdom and wandered westwards to live a life of complete asceticism, earning his bread in Syria by honest manual toil until his death in circa 165, 782. The story of his repentance is a classic of Muslim hagiography. The legend of Hazrat Ibrahim ibn Adham. Ibrahim ibn Adham was the king of Balkh, and many people were under his command. 40 gold swords and 40 gold maces were carried before and behind him. One night he was asleep on his royal couch. At midnight the roof of the apartment vibrated, as if someone was walking on the roof. "Who is there?" he shouted. "A friend," came the reply. "I have lost a camel, and am searching for it on this roof." "Fool, do you look for the camel on the roof?" cried Ibrahim. "Heedless one," answered the voice, "do you seek for Allah in silken clothes, asleep on a golden couch?" These words filled his heart with terror. A fire blazed within him and he could not sleep any more. When day came he returned to the dais and sat on his throne, thoughtful, bewildered and full of care. The ministers of state stood each in his place, his slaves were drawn up in serried ranks. Suddenly a man with awful mien entered the chamber, so terrible to look upon that none of the royal retinue and servants dared ask him his name. The tongues of all clove to their throats. He advanced solemnly till he stood before the throne. "What do you want?" demanded Ibrahim. "I have just alighted at this caravanserai," said the man. "This is not a caravanserai. This is my palace." "You are mad," shouted Ibrahim. "Who owned this palace before you?" asked the man. "My father," Ibrahim replied. "And before him?" "My grandfather." "And before him?" "So-and-so." "And before him?" "The father of so-and-so." "Where have they all departed?" asked the man. "They have all gone." "They are dead," Ibrahim replied. "Then is this not a caravanserai which one man enters and another leaves?" With these words the stranger vanished. He was Khizr, upon whom be peace. The fire blazed more fiercely still in Ibrahim's soul, and the anguish within him augmented momently. Visions by day followed the hearing of voices by night, equally mysterious and incomprehensible. "Saddle my horse," Ibrahim cried at last. "I will go to the hunt. I know not what this thing is that has come upon me today. O Allah, how will this affair end?" His horse was saddled and he proceeded to the chase. Headlong he galloped across the desert. It was as if he knew not what he was doing. In that state of bewilderment he became separated from his troops. On the way he suddenly heard a voice. Awake! He pretended not to have heard, and rode on. A second time the voice came, but he heeded it not. A third time he heard the same, and hurled himself farther away. Then the voice sounded a fourth time. Awake, before you are stricken awake. He now lost all self-control. At that instant a deer started up, and Ibrahim prepared to give chase. The deer spoke to him. I have been sent to hunt you. You cannot catch me. Was it for this that you were created, or is this what you were commanded? Ah, what is this that has come upon me? Ibrahim cried. And he turned his face from the deer. He thereupon heard the same words issuing from the pommel of his saddle. And he turned his face from the deer. He thereupon heard the same words issuing from the pommel of his saddle. A third time the selfsame voice proceeded from the collar of his cloak. The revelation was thus consummated, and the heavens were opened unto him. Sure faith in Allah was now established in him. He dismounted, all his garments, and the horse itself, were dripping with his tears. He made true and sincere repentance. Turning aside from the road, he saw a shepherd wearing felt clothes and a hat of felt, driving his sheep before him. Looking closely, he saw that he was a slave of his. He bestowed on him his gold embroidered cloak and bejeweled cap, together with the sheep, and took from him his clothes and hat of felt. These he donned himself. All the angelic host stood gazing on Ibrahim. What a kingdom has come to the son of Adam! They cried. He has cast away filthy garments of the world and donned the glorious robes of poverty. Even so he proceeded on foot to wander over mountains and deserts, lamenting over his sins until he came to Merv. There he saw a man who had fallen from the bridge and about to be swept away by the river. Ibrahim shouted from afar, "O Allah, preserve him!" The man remained suspended in the air until helpers arrived and drew him up. They were astonished at Ibrahim. "What man is this?" they cried. Ibrahim departed from that place, and marched on to Nishapur. There he searched for a desolate corner where he might busy himself with obedience to God. In the end he hit upon the famous cave where he dwelt for 9 years, 3 years in each apartment. Who knows what occupied him there through the nights and days? For it needed a mighty man of uncommon substance to be able to be there alone by night. Every Thursday he would climb above the cavern and collect a bundle of firewood. Next morning he would set out for Nishapur and there sell the brushwood. Having performed the Friday prayers, he would buy bread with the money he had gained, give half to a beggar and use half himself to break his fast. So he did every week. And this is how Hazrat Ibrahim bin Adham repented by abandoning the worldly luxuries and became a great friend of Allah.